Good morning, everyone. This is Patti at Cabin Fever Soaps and Essentials. Today, I'm kind of like soaping in my jammies, but don't tell nobody. I'm going to make a soap that I have for an order, and it will be a different one. It is Scottish Highlander. You see that? And I'm not going to take it out, but this is one that I made, and we're going to make it a little bit different. It's the same colors and the same process, but it's going to be up and down, and then this stuff will be on the top. What's different about this soap is it is a cold process with also a glycerin soap on top. And I will have soap shavings from cold process, and that will go in the bottom and maybe a little bit in the glycerin soap. So without further ado, let's get started. I am going to glove up and get my goggles on because I am clumsy. I definitely don't want the active lye to get into my eyeballs. It can get all over my skin. I really don't care, but I'd love to be able to keep my sight. So, first thing I'm going to do is not that. I'm going to put in my colorant, which is a mica, and that's aqua pearl. And because I use a high percentage of olive oil, it will turn it more greenish than the blue. So, I'm going to put that already in there. That's what I love about mica. And let's see, I think that should be enough. Give it a little bit of stir. Trying to get so that you can't see me, but that might be impossible. But I'm just gonna get it wet. The nice thing about mica is it blends in really fast. And my little sidekick is not with me today. She just has other things to do, bless her heart. Ever since she was very little, she's always been around me with soaping. But since she turned a teenager, I just had to cut those apron strings. Let me mix this up just a little. In my base, I have extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, some tallow, and cocoa butter. I think that is about it. And then in the glycerin base, it is an aloe vera. It has aloe vera in it. It's an aloe vera melt and pour. So we're going to use that, and that will have some nice little goodies. Okay, now I am going to get that over there. I can tell I'm off today, but I'm off every day, as my husband would say, but today's just a little bit stranger. So I'm going to strain just in case. And when it gets a little, I'd say medium trace is when I'll put this in, but I'll show you that when we get there. And see what I mean about it being green greener than bluish because of the olive oil. That's the color I want. Okay, no need to sit there and have you watch this over and over with this blending and making the noise. But if you wanted it that aqua color, can you see? Is that, I don't know, lighting's probably bad, but it's just beautiful. If you wanted to keep that color, then you would add some titanium dioxide because of the color of the olive oil, and then you would get that pretty blue. Alright, I'll pause you and I'll bring you back for the next step. Okay, I think I changed my mind, but I'm 100% female and a hillbilly at that, so I have the right to do that, I think. Well, anyways, I am going to put a little bit of blue in there. I don't want it blue, but I'm just not caring for that green right now. So, we will see what this will do. Yes, it's a better green. Okay, I'm happy with it. Now I'm going to add my fragrance, and it is almost up to medium trace. So I will bring you back when I get ready to put the shavings in. Okay, it's at a medium trace. So I'm going to pour a little bit in each of the molds if I don't fall. Okay. Okay, then I'm going to take these, and then I'm going to swirl it, or I should say mix it in with this so that everything gets pretty coated. The reason why I didn't put them in when I mixed it, which I usually do, is that, save some for the other, is that I know I'm going to have a little extra left over, so I will be putting it in this. And then the glycerin soap will be on top. So, I don't want to get too carried away. I want to make sure that all of the soap shavings are well coated, because if you don't do that, everywhere it's dry is going to come undone. Trust me. How do I know this? I've been there. When I first started soaping, I think it was the first year. That wasn't too fun, but it was a good learning experience. And then I just cut up the soap and put it in another soap. So none of it goes to waste for a soaper. I think I better put a little bit more in there to make it even. Okay. And then when I go to make the glycerin part, this would be setting up real pretty. So you have plenty of time if you wanted to do it this way. I have, believe it or not, swirled with the both soaps, cold process and melt and pour. And the secret to that, maybe I'll make a video, but is to pour real high and then just keep making a motion, because you won't be able to get any kind of tool in there to swirl like you would if it was just CP. So that's another secret. Alright. Okay, I'll clean that up and get my glycerin soap started. And then I'll bring you back. Okay, I'm still melting the glycerin soap, and I try not to let it go until it's fully melted, because once it gets hot it will completely start melting all of it, because we don't want it hot. If you can see that, that's about what I have left to melt, so I just stir it. And I poured the rest of the cold process soap in here. This is such a beautiful, beautiful scent, and it's either or, unisex, but men just seem to really love this fragrance, and so that's why I made a little bit more, so I could have a little melt or pour it, so it can be individually, nothing fancy on it. And then this one I have, just in case I should have a little bit more glycerin soap, so I will just put it in there and give them as little gifts or whatnot. This is 91% rubbing alcohol. I do the 91 because I want the alcohol to completely evaporate, so you don't have to worry about it being in your soap. Watch me spill it. Well, I guess it would help if they put one seal on. And, oh! I knew that was going to happen. It is squeezable, and I am a mess. Clumsy. Alright, let's do this again. I guess if I was wise, I would get my little funnel. Yay, my friend. But it's still squeezy. I don't know why they make it in there. But anyways, I'm not the one that makes it, so I better just be quiet. But let me get back to the rubbing alcohol. It doesn't stay in your soap. When you're using glycerin soap, melt and pour, it takes the bubbles out, and it also makes other ingredients mingle with the rest. In other words, this is not that. So what I do is I just wet it down, get it good and wet. And as I said, 91, it evaporates. When you're making it, woohoo! Some kids, grandkids, they like the smell of it. And so one day maybe they're going to be a doctor or something. What do you think? When I go to make bath bombs, though, I use the witch hazel, which has, more water in it. This doesn't have any water in it than using the alcohol, and it's just because I like the properties of it. So I better quit my yakking and get busy. So I'm going to take this color, the same as that, and put it in here. And since it doesn't have a high percentage of olive oil, it should be very, very pretty. Let's see if this is going to be the color I want. Probably have to add a little bit more. It's getting pretty, isn't it? So I'll incorporate that, and I will bring you back when I'm getting ready to pour the top. Okay, I'm not ready to do it yet, but I put the fragrance in here, and you need to just keep blending and blending. And see, I get the bubbles in. I like to use a whisk, so I'm going to get the bubbles, and I just spray it and they go away. But what I brought you back for was, jeez, I only have that in the jar. And this is copper sprinkle formica. And I need to have a little bit on my soap layer. It's not going to be a lot, but as I said, alcohol evaporates. So if you don't have enough like this, just mix it with a little bit of alcohol. Get all those goodies out of your jar. And then all you have to do is, I wanted to do a pencil line, but it's not going to happen. So I am just going to put this on the top. And I don't have to worry about it because the glycerin soap is going to be going in there, so it'll help it adhere. Let me get this stuff out of the way. And I've been stirring this while you guys are on hold. But you want to make sure that the fragrance is really incorporated in the melting pour so it doesn't separate. And it helps cool it down too if you got it a little too hot. Okay, so I don't know if you can see all those bubbles, but I sure can. I just do that and they disappear. And these are still wet, so that's good. Now I'm going to put some more just on top of here because I want these two soaps to melt together where they are coming together. You can tell I'm not feeling good. But I think I want, let me just borrow a spoon. Get these two away. What I want to do is get that top layer going. I don't want it to pour through on the bottom because I'm not doing a swirling effect. Let's see. Get those about the same. And I'm making a mess. It's still very fluid. I want my mica to kind of get through there. So then I just start putting this on here. Not a whole bunch, but just in spots so that it will give it some color. And I think that will be plenty. And we will pour a little bit more on there. Maybe I'll spoon it. So I can keep the mica kind of in the same place. Yeah, heck with it. I think it's beautiful. And kind of honoring my Scottish heritage. Now, I won't be able to cut this like I do with the other soaps, the cold process, with my big cutter. So, yeah, we talk about someone that's crooked. It's me. And it looks like I have probably had the exact amount, so I won't need this. Right. Kind of make some for my daughter and I, and me, and I don't know. And as it hardens up, you can just keep adding, but you want it to still be, I don't know what I'm talking about, guys. I just hate these kind of days. Alright, now it's kind of bowing, but it will be alright. Now, these are red clover. And the last time I just put them on the sides, I kind of crumbled them up. This time, I think I'm just going to do the same thing, but keep them in the buds. Very good for you. But this is mostly for decoration. I want it to get kind of like in there, so it would be easy to package. I think I'm going to like this one a lot better than the first one, going the long ways. Where is my soap? In fact, I'm going to tell on my husband. He's the one that made this. I just kept bugging him and bugging him. And so finally one day he wanted to share a day with me, and I said, soap. And he made this. And I got it on my blog. I can't remember when he did it, but I'm telling you what, guys can soap. And he had no problem. And this was a very, difficult first soap. And that man did it. Very proud of him. But, do you think I could get him back in the kitchen to make more soap? Oh, no. No. Usually he ends up going fishing or something if I have to make it. I try. Mondays are always hectic because I try to not do anything on the weekends so that we can spend time together. But sometimes I got to get an order made. And as we know, it takes weeks, a couple of weeks for the soap to age and cure. And what that means is that you are taking the water out of it and it just gets mellower and mellower. So if you did hot process, you cooked it like they used to, but you can use a crock pot now. You can use it in a couple of days. You could use it after it cools down, but you still want it to kind of mellow out. Alright, enough. I'm messing this up and I've got to get these down in here. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll try to get them cut or make another video cutting it. And so I got a couple more soaps to do for this order and 20 more cupcakes. Alright, until then, see you guys later. Thanks for watching.